Rain pounded the city streets as thunder rolled overhead. Damian Cross sat in his luxury car, stuck in traffic, irritated that weather had delayed his evening. As CEO of Cross Financial, he'd spent another 14-hour day closing deals, and all he wanted was to reach his penthouse and silence. Then he saw her, a young woman sitting on a park bench in the pouring rain, completely soaked, hunched over something she was protecting with her body. As Damian's car crawled past, he realized she was feeding a baby, trying to shelter the infant while rain streamed down her face. Something cracked in Damian's carefully maintained indifference. He pulled over, grabbed his umbrella, and walked back to the bench. "Excuse me," he said, holding the umbrella over her and the baby. "Are you okay?" The woman looked up and Damian saw exhaustion, desperation, and something else. Fierce determination. She was probably mid-20s, hair plastered to her face, clothes soaked through. "I'm fine," she said automatically, though she was clearly anything but fine. "You're sitting in a storm feeding a baby. That's not fine." Damian crouched down. "Do you have somewhere to go?" "Someone I can call?" "No," her voice broke. "I don't have anywhere or anyone. Just my daughter." The baby, maybe 3 months old, was wrapped in a red blanket that the woman was desperately trying to keep dry. The infant was feeding from a bottle, oblivious to the rain and chaos. "What happened?" Damian asked gently. The woman looked at him, this stranger in an expensive suit offering an umbrella, and something in her broke. "I lost my apartment. Couldn't pay rent after I lost my job when Sophie was born. Been staying at a shelter, but they're full tonight because of the storm. I have $40 and nowhere to go. I was just feeding her before I figured out what to do next." "You were going to sit here all night?" "I don't know," she admitted. "I haven't gotten that far. I just know Sophie needs to eat and be warm. Everything else, I'll figure it out. I always do." Damian made a decision he'd later recognize as life-changing. "Come with me. I'll get you somewhere safe and dry. Both of you." The woman looked terrified. "I don't know you. I'm Damian Cross. I run Cross Financial. You can Google me right now. I'm not a threat. I'm just someone who can't walk away from a mother and baby in a rainstorm. I'm Anna Williams. This is Sophie." She studied him carefully, then nodded. "Okay, but just somewhere dry." "I don't need charity." Damian drove them to a hotel, not the luxury penthouse suite he'd considered, but a comfortable room that wouldn't make Anna feel like a charity case. He arranged for the front desk to provide anything they needed. "Stay tonight," Damian said. "Get dry, feed Sophie, sleep. Tomorrow we'll figure out next steps." "Why are you helping us?" Anna asked, holding Sophie close. "I don't know," Damian admitted. "I've walked past hundreds of people in need. Something about seeing you protect your daughter in that storm. I couldn't just drive away." Over the next days, Damian helped Anna find emergency housing assistance, connected her with job opportunities, ensured Sophie had everything she needed. But he also kept coming back, not as a benefactor, but as someone genuinely interested in their lives. "You lost everything," Damian said one evening, watching Anna play with Sophie. "Your apartment, your job, your security. But you never lost hope. You sat in a storm making sure Sophie was fed." "That's remarkable. What else would I do?" Anna asked. "She's my daughter. She needs me. Giving up isn't an option." Damian, who'd built an empire on ruthless business decisions and emotional detachment, found himself awed by this woman who had nothing but refused to stop fighting. "Can I ask you something?" Anna said. "You're a CEO, wealthy, successful. Why do you keep coming back here? You've already done more than anyone could expect." "Because you remind me what actually matters," Damian said honestly. "I've spent 15 years chasing success, building companies, making money, being important, and I'm miserable. Then I found you in a rainstorm, someone who'd lost everything but was still protecting what mattered most. You have nothing, and you're happier than I've ever been." "I'm not happy," Anna corrected gently. "I'm terrified. But I have Sophie, and she makes the fear worth bearing." They fell in love gradually, Anna seeing past Damian's cold exterior to the lonely man underneath. Damian discovering that real wealth wasn't in bank accounts, but in moments with people who mattered. "I want to be part of your life," Damian said months later. "Both your lives. Not as someone fixing your problems, but as someone who loves you, who wants to build a family with you. Why me? Anna asked. I was homeless with a baby when you found me. Because you'd lost everything except hope, Damien said. You were sitting in a storm protecting your daughter, refusing to give up. That strength, that love, that's what I've been missing my entire life. A year after that rainy night, Damien proposed on the same park bench where they'd met. He'd had it restored and engraved, where everything was lost but hope remained. At their wedding, Damien told their story to tearful guests. I found Anna feeding Sophie in a rainstorm, he explained. She'd lost her home, her job, her security. She was soaking wet with nowhere to go. But she never lost hope. She never stopped protecting her daughter. That night, I learned that strength isn't about having everything. It's about refusing to give up when you have nothing. Anna added, Damien gave me shelter when I had none. But more than that, he saw value in me when I felt worthless. He looked at a homeless single mother and saw someone worth loving. That gift, being seen when you feel invisible, that's what saved me. Years later, they'd returned to that bench with Sophie, now a confident little girl who'd been too young to remember the storm but grew up hearing the story. Mommy was very brave, Sophie would say proudly. She protected me even when she was scared and cold and had nowhere to go. And your daddy stopped when everyone else drove past, Anna would add. He saw someone in need and chose compassion over convenience. Damien would finish. I found your mother in a storm, and she changed my entire life. She'd lost everything, home, job, security, but she never lost hope. That hope, that fierce love for you, showed me what actually matters. Not success or wealth, but showing up for people you love, especially when everything else is falling apart. Because sometimes our worst moments are when we're most visible to the right people. Sometimes losing everything clears space for what truly matters. And sometimes the person feeding their baby in a rainstorm with nothing but hope is exactly who a lonely CEO needs to find, not to save, but to be saved by, reminded that love and determination matter more than any empire. If this story touched you, share and subscribe for more tales about hope in desperate moments and the connections that transform us. Comment about someone who helped you when you'd lost everything. Those angels walk among us, often in expensive suits, carrying umbrellas they didn't know they'd need.